Right, I'm delighted to say that I've been joined on a Zoom call by Lou Conran. Lou, thank you very much for joining me.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
How are you? I would say this is a Zoom call, and we have that annoying delay thing, so it's not a purpose. This is just how it is, unfortunately.
Well, I won't be offended and I won't take it personally. Thank you very much. But in answer to your question, I'm very well. Thank you. Yes, life is good.
So you're down in Portsmouth in not long at all, just 12 days time on the 11th of February with your tour Tangent. What can we expect? What can we look forward to?
Well, I my sort of style of comedy is a bit sort of chaotic, Paul. It's sort of I'll have a plan, um, and then I probably won't stick to that plan. And it'll be, I like to chat to the audience. I like to get stories off the audience. I like to kind of like see what unfolds really. So I've got sort of a strategy of like sort of personal stories about me and my partner. He's supporting me, by the way. So he's sort of opening the show. I have to be careful in case, I have to listen out just in case he sort of says anything derogatory about me. And then I get a whole hour to come back on stage and say things that are derogatory about him. So, so it's probably yeah, it'll be chaos, but organized chaos, I think. And I'm very much looking forward to it.
I'm guessing yourself and your partner is quite a new relationship because most comedians that I know look forward to going out on tour because it means they get to get away from their partner and the kids and everything else like that.
Well, you say that. We've been together nearly 4 years and we're actually getting married in 4 weeks. So
Wow.
I know. So, and we actually really like each other. So, well, this is at the moment,
At the
Paul,
moment.
obviously. Yeah, yeah. So, and normally I'm like, oh no, I would not advise anybody to go out with a comedian. But as it happens, he's a wonderful man. So I've been very, very lucky. So I don't like going out sort of gigging with him too much because I keep saying to people, please keep booking us all the time because we're not the crankies. Um, but actually, it's really nice to do this with him because then we can sort of pick places around the country where we actually want to have a little mini break. So
Oh,
it's
there you
sort of
go. Perfect. Well, I
yeah.
can't, obviously, I can't attest for the weather because the weather's not fantastic at the moment, but Portsmouth
Mhm.
is an absolutely lovely place. And we've got some lovely destinations that you can go and spend the day having a little mooch around and all that type of stuff.
We will, yeah. I did a gig once at the distillery in where is it? The Portsmouth Distillery. It's like a
Yeah.
port.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was lovely. Well, what I say the gig was lovely. I don't really remember it, but the gin was nice.
The gin
So
was good. And
yeah,
now you understand the people of Portsmouth.
now I do understand the people of Portsmouth. Yes,
Your show is called Tangent. Is that a
yes.
sign of age? It's one of those things where you start talking about something and then you end up in a completely different place.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Because as I said to you, I'll have a list of what I'm intending to talk about, but I get so easily distracted. And people to me are so interesting. I love chatting to the audience because you never know who you've got in, you never know what jobs they do, you never know what life they've had. So for me, it's as much them coming to see me talking about my wonderful partner and the things that have happened to me in my life, but equally it's like you just don't know who you've got in a crowd. So
Yeah.
I'll hopefully stories will just sort of spark off. And um yeah, I'm just really looking forward to see. And actually regionally, it's so funny with different audiences, when people go about the north south divide. I don't know whether there's necessarily that much of a divide, but regionally you just get little pockets of people that do different things because that, say for example, they're in Portsmouth and you've got sort of the naval connections and
Hmm.
stuff, and then you go around the country. So it's like I'm so looking forward to just seeing who we've got basically and what happens.
Well, I always find it really, really interesting because I think, especially like with a show like yourself, where there is a lot of audience interaction, when you go to a music show or a theatre or something like that, people want to sit in the front row, don't they? Because they want to be as close as they can to the action. When it's a
Yeah.
comedy show, sitting in the front row, you need to either be one of two things. One is late,
Yeah.
you end up
Yes.
sitting in the front row. Or the other thing is if you're sat in the front row, it's probably because you want to actually interact.
Well, yeah, you do find a lot of people just have accidentally ended up on the front row, and
Mm.
I do like to chat to people. Apparently, I'm quite mean to people, but I don't think I am. It depends on the answers I get given to my questions. So, as I said, you never know who you've got in, and some people think they're really funny, so they deliberately sit on the front row because they think, oh yeah, well I should be up there doing this, and then they soon find out that it's not that easy, and I really enjoy that. So yeah.
You do a lot of work with Sarah Millican. First of all, how long have you known her, and were you friends or colleagues first?
I have known Sarah, oh my goodness, about 19 years.
Wow.
So yeah, and we did meet on the comedy circuit in Manchester, and yeah, I mean, I've watched that woman just fly. So yeah, it's been amazing. I'm not bitter and twisted about it. Of course I'm not. No.
Well, the reason why I bring it up, especially with your show and like the interview we are literally doing now, it's quite funny because my wife, of course, with same with a lot of comedians, my wife discovered Sarah Millican through the panel shows and all the other bits and pieces, which you discover a lot of comedians on, and she loved her on those, absolutely loved her. Went
Yeah.
and bought tickets to see her live, and she was disgusted. Absolutely, my
Oh.
wife was so disgusted at the change in the language and everything else. Like she was like,
Oh.
it was like seeing a different person. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And
Oh wow.
I just wondered if that's something you're conscious of as well.
Um, well, well, yeah, I think, yeah, yeah. Sarah's always been disgusting, and um, and I think obviously you have to tone it down for telly. So
Yes.
I've been supporting Lucy Beaumont recently as well. So the change there is that people see, they don't necessarily see her as a comedian. They see her off the telly with her
Yeah.
husband,
Yeah.
and so those sort of shows when she's been talking about things and saying naughty swear words and things, you can literally see the audience going, "Oh, isn't she swear? Oh no, oh no." So I like the shock factor of that. But the people that have bought tickets to see my show are primarily people that have seen me from Sarah's supporting Sarah, so they'll
I
know
think
what to
they
expect with
know
me.
what they're going to get. Right, just to finish off, and again, bearing in mind we are live on a mid-morning show, what can
Yes.
you tell us about your two podcasts?
Oh, now then, I do a podcast with a comedian called Sally Ann Hayward, and it's about drunk stories, I suppose, and silliness that happens when you have a little drinky poo. And the aim of the game is basically we get a guest on, they choose a drink, and then me and Sally decide at the end of the podcast whether we like the drink. So if we like it, we swallow it, and if we don't like it, then we spit it out. So
I think
that'll
you put that excellently, by the way.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And then I do another podcast with my partner called Tough Gig Comedy Podcast, where we basically have been talking about shows that we've done that week and what's happened that week, where we've been, and we discuss that. So that's really interesting, actually, because we get a lot of comedians listening to it, basically to find out whether we're slagging them off. so which we generally don't, but
Generally,
yeah,
not all the time, though.
generally don't. No, no.
Lou, it has been absolutely brilliant talking to you. Thank you so much. You are performing at the
Likewise.
Portsmouth Guildhall on the 11th of February. If there are literally just a handful of tickets left, I urge people to go and see you because very, very, very funny.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.